If your son has been exposed to some kind of extreme trauma, it may be that he has post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. PTSD is characterized by an individual who's been exposed to death or injury or some kind of threat of injury, any kind of experience that results in intense fear, helplessness, and horror. So after this incident, they have oftentimes intrusive thoughts of the trauma. They may have dreams that are disturbing or flashbacks. Any kind of a reminder of the trauma may cause them intense emotional distress. For example, somebody who's been in a major car accident may have trouble getting into a car, or somebody who's been sexually abused may struggle with any kind of non-sexual touch. They may avoid thoughts and feelings, anything that reminds them of the trauma. This results in, oftentimes, people get stuck in the developmental age when the trauma occurred. For example, if a young man is sexually abused when he's 10 years old, in some ways, emotionally, he stops developing in his ability to cope with strong feelings at 10. So obviously it can cause big problems for his development. Oftentimes people with PTSD have trouble recalling the event. They forget. They have a loss of interest in activities which can look like depression or can be paired with depression. They may have a sense of detachment from others. They have an inability to experience the full range of emotions, including love. So emotionally, they're just somewhat blunted. They may be pessimistic about the future. They might have trouble sleeping, angry outbursts, irritability. They might have a hair trigger. They might have poor concentration. They also might have hypervigilance, which is paranoia or a sense that something bad is always about to happen. They could even have an exaggerated startle response, so you walk up behind them and put your hand on their shoulder and they jump. The key to treating PTSD is not necessarily to have the person relive the trauma, but to help them deconstruct the trauma, which means that they do have to revisit it emotionally so that they can make sense of it and they can change some of their thoughts and beliefs about the event and attach positive meaning to the event, as difficult as that may be. And that's why we focus on these people becoming survivors as opposed to looking at themselves as victims and considering themselves victims for the rest of their lives. So we'd ask you to follow our lead as we work through PTSD with your son. Be tactful about the trauma subject, but don't be fearful of it, because he will need to cope with this and deal with it if he's to move forward in a healthy way. I'd like to invite you to explore the links on this page. There's some excellent reading material that you can follow at the bottom of the page. Also, please download the module, Overcoming Trauma module, and read through some of the things we'll be doing with your son to help him heal. Thanks.